Hello, this is First Name, Last Name from Void Signal, and you're listening to Podcast with Host.
Schmale Brücke, die Ufer sind Vernunft und Trieb. Ich steig dir nach, das Sonnenlicht den Geist verwirrt. Ein blindes Kind, das vorwärts kriecht, weil es seine Mutter riecht. Ich finde dich. Die Spur ist frisch und auf die Brücke dann schweißt ein warmes Blut. Ich seh dich nicht, ich riech dich nur, ich spüre dich. Ein Raubtier, das vor Hunger schreit, bitter richtig meilenweit. Du riechst so gut, du riechst so gut, ich geh dir hinterher. Du riechst so gut.
Hello again. Before we get started, I just wanted to say this one more time that I have really dope merchandise over on shirtclan.com, and you can also leave me a tip over at voidsignal.net. So check it out. I mean, you have nothing to waste but your time. Thanks for your consideration, and cheers as always. Enjoy the show. Bye.
Well, thank you so much for your time and for coming on the podcast. I appreciate it very much. How are you? How's things? You've been busy.
I was actually thank you for inviting me, and especially for accommodating the time, considering I'm in the UK. I was actually rehearsing for my upcoming show in September, so I was a bit focused, like figuring out music, props, and stuff like that. But it's been relatively like a quiet day overall.
That's good. You have been working a lot, it seems, and one of the reasons that I wanted to have you on the show is, so I've followed you on Instagram for a while because what you were doing was outside the norm a little bit, like interesting and different, and was striking in how fearless you were at points in some of the things that you were shooting. It felt very much like you were kind of doing whatever you wanted. So I wanted to have you on just to sort of like, I don't know, I guess the question I'm like most excited to ask you about is just like, how did you overcome your fears? I guess might be a big question, but yeah.
That's actually a good one. I think.
Thank you. I mean, I try. I put I put a lot of effort.
I think perhaps it's when I started doing like studying acting, drama. I've been always the kind of person that overthinks, and it's always a bit afraid of other people's judgment, and always a bit afraid of being considered like the reject. Not really lucky with my friendships. Yeah, and I'm quite of an introvert as well. So I've been always like struggling, putting myself out there. But since I've started acting, I think I became more and more confident, trying to think, trying to be in the moment, and being more spontaneous, and trying to avoid to overthink, trying to space out from the noise inside my head, and that I think that should answer your question.
I mean, I don't know right or wrong answers. I mean, it's, I just was curious because how long have you been doing modeling?
Not so long, actually. It's going almost 2 years.
2 years,
but
you said?
Yeah, roughly.
Gotcha.
Consider that I actually started just like in the midst of the pandemic. So it's been on and off like quite a few times.
Sure.
In between lockdowns, and then so yeah, roughly, possibly not even 2 years. But yeah, I'm getting there. Close to 2 years.
What drew you to it? Like, how did you get involved?
Well, actually, there's a premise I should make. Right before the pandemic started, and we were in lockdown, the first one, I decided, quite considering my acting career was taking off a bit, I'd say, at least fringe theatre. I said, okay, I'll get new headshots. I'm going to join an agency and I'm going to get out there. And I was in between jobs because I wanted a part-time position to focus on the acting.
Sure.
And to like a week, 1 week after we were in lockdown and I've lost both jobs. And of course, my acting career was non-existent at that point. So I was really, really upset, and I was trying to let out all my frustration and despair, probably possibly, into doing something creative. So I joined a couple of Facebook groups on with models and photographers in London, and I said, okay, what the heck? I've never done this. I have no idea what I'm going to do, but let's try it out. It was still allowed to meet up to like 2-3 people. And of course, I mean, if you model, most of the times you're with just yourself and a photographer and you can shoot outdoors. So I said, what the heck not? Let's try this out.
Sure.
And I actually enjoyed it.
Oh, really?
So yeah,
it sounds like you just like really. I mean, even from the start, like before even just before the pandemic, it sounds like you, I don't know, suddenly decided to just kind of grab your life by the throat and be like, I'm gonna do this fucking thing. I don't know. It's just, I think it's awesome that you just sort of like, were like, I'm going to do this thing. And you seem happy doing it. I mean, that could just be my perception, but.
No, I actually am really, really happy. And actually, it's not been that long since this happened, but I started having also like paid shootings and gigs, and I started being approached by different brands. And this is, I know it's not that much, and I know there are like lots of more successful people out there, but for me it's a bit overwhelming, and I feel really grateful. I'm so happy because I really do enjoy it, and I always strive to get like good work out there. Not just because I, of course, I mean, I've got published in 20 plus magazines, different issues, different styles, but it's because I'd like to think. I mean, I like to think that there's someone else that could actually take inspiration from what I do. I know it sounds cheesy, and I try to also make a personal cause of what I do, really, because I mean, not necessarily in the old industry. The alternative modeling is quite welcoming, and you really find people from any like walk of life and different backgrounds, disabled people, LGBTQI plus people, so it's really welcoming. But sometimes, depending on the style or the brand you see around, you don't really see that much of like normal people or like average goth gals that are a bit chunky like me.
Right.
So yeah, it's, I think. And sometimes I actually received a couple of comments from teenage girls that really made me happy. A couple of times I actually cried because I've seen so much of myself in them, and I really wish that I had someone to look up to, not necessarily because I'm like a top model or anything, but it's just seeing myself out there and saying, loving food and being a foodie is fine. You can still model. You can still look great.
Right.
You don't necessarily have to starve yourself. You don't necessarily have to be like a size 4 or 6 to look good. And specifically in my case, considering I suffer from an autoimmune disease, which is called multiple sclerosis, it's really, I think it's important that I talk about it, and I'm open about it, and I can show that you can still make it, even if you've got a chronic condition, and you can, if you like gore, if you like horror, if you like goth, Victorian goth or whatever, you can still do everything. You just have to set your mind, and to be committed and work hard, because that's like key for everything.
Absolutely.
But yeah, there's space for everyone.
You have a really wonderful story, and I honestly, either your reasons and your motivations are I think you're so brave, and I don't know. I think what you're making is so important for the reasons that you mentioned. The good thing about globalization, at least to me, is just that it's forced everybody to look at everybody else and sort of realize that like genetics are a thing, and they determine what people have to not only deal with and struggle with, but what people look like. And all of those things are huge factors into how someone's life plays out. And I think it's really lovely that in your case, it's a story of how, this is what you're given what you're given, and this is the direction that you've decided to take it. And I think that's cool. I think that's awesome. It's really heartwarming too, to hear that you have like, teenage girl fans who are like really, who are able to reach out to you. Cause I mean, you couldn't do that years ago. Just be like, reach out to whatever model and be like, hey, thank you so much, or what have you. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's the thing possibly I like the most about social media. They make you approachable, reachable, and that's, of course, there's a downside to that, but right. Talking about the positives, it's a really nice thing. Yes. Yeah,
sorry. It's so terrible. Like, I can't even imagine how much I've seen some of the horror stories of just like, of all the ridiculous fucking shit that any sort of, not like, you don't even have to be a model. You just have to be a woman on social media, and you're just like bombarded with bullshit. So, yeah,
but I think of course, like I think it's obvious that women are more targeted, but I've got lots of male friends that receive questions like, do you sell feet pictures? like every other day there's someone randomly asking them if they like sell pictures of their feet.
I sell pictures of my motherfucking feet. I don't care. Like, they're huge and gross, but man, if anybody wants it, whatever you're paying is what I'm selling it for. It's
Tell me what you want. Tell me what you want. Tell me what you want. Tell me what you want.
Do you have something big in mind that you'd love to sort of accomplish now that you're on this path? I mean, it seems, you said 2 years, and it seems like almost like a little bit of a course correction, I guess, to kind of your original sort of goal or career path. So since getting on this path in the past 2 years, have you had an idea or the spark for something like big that you would like to try and put together or do?
I think that acting and modeling, in a way, at least the way I like to do it, they feed into each other, and at least this is what I like to believe, that people actually engage with my pictures because of course I'm not talking about like brand pictures when I show the lingerie or the t-shirt, but like horror or goth themed photo shoots and stuff like that. I like to believe that I'm telling a story through my pictures, with the images, and I usually work closely with the photographer. They act as directors. They give me directions. They not always, but I quite like that creative process that leads to the final shot. And I think that this is really helpful when it comes to acting. Even with my pin-up vintage pictures of a while ago, I've noticed that the subtleties, the micro expressions that I made, and that made each and every picture different from each other. And it is really helpful, especially if you do like screen acting, where you really have to be expressive, because you've got one shot and sometimes you don't even have to talk or to say anything. You just have to express your emotions and your feelings, like looking at the camera. So I think that in a way, modeling helped me being exercising as an actress. And of course, I'd really love to get back to theatre, but unfortunately, it seems to be a bit complicated. Many theatres have closed after COVID, and the great government we've got doesn't spare like a penny for performing art. It actually saddened me really much seeing 3 or 4 drama schools closing down forever, because there was no support, and they were struggling. Of course, I mean, the fees to get into the drama school are crazy high. So basically, you have to be rich to be an actor. But it's still really sad that like 2 or 3 of the most important drama schools in London have closed, and the government doesn't do anything at all. So it's a bit tricky. But I plan on getting back on stage, hopefully by the end of the year or next year.
Yeah,
I'd really like that.
I I hope you can. And I mean, I have to echo your sentiment. Like, I'm not fucking stoked about the government I have. So it's that's kind of the general vibe. Most people are pretty unhappy with
Yes.
with governments. But I mean, like, one thing I did just sort of want to point out is just that, like, you know, you were talking about micro expressions and acting, and I think that acting is I think it's a good perspective and a good sort of asset to have, because you know, just even scrolling through some of the photos that you've done, I mean, you sit and get prosthetics and makeup, and a lot of stuff has to go on before, you know, a picture gets taken. So I think that there's a lot also to be said for your ability to sit very still for for a long
Oh yeah, I still actually remember I couldn't post any of them on Instagram because I was showing too much for Instagram police. But I've done a demon shooting. The same guys I usually shoot horror with, and that was like possibly the longest makeup session I had, because it involved also like body painting, so yeah, like full body, and yeah, plus face makeup, prosthetics and everything. So yeah, it's been like possibly 5 hours,
Yeah,
5 hours and a half.
that's a hell of a lot. I do recall
Yeah.
those pictures, and I've actually got them pulled up now. I got a couple of the ones from Instagram, and like, that's a ton of work. And I mean, it's I see what I think is cool about it, and you kind of touched on this too, of trying to tell a story. Is that I think it does. I think it's thought provoking enough, and I think there's enough character and consideration given to it. I mean, not only by you, but very clearly by the photographers involved. I mean, all of these photo shoots are very much like all hands on deck. Like, let's make something cool, and it shows. I mean, it comes across very much so in still image. I don't remember where I was going with this, but that's okay.
That's fine. Yeah. I mean, of course, there are limits to that. I can always, for example, my one of my latest that in Paris, I was wearing this lovely latex dress. There's not much of a story there, but yeah, but
I mean, there could be.
but my main goal with latex is to show that you don't necessarily have to be a size 6 to wear latex and look fucking amazing, because I'm not a size 6. I can assure you that.
Right.
And still, I mean, of course, sometimes it's hard to find like a brand that caters to curvy, chunky girls. But the market, I mean, we're showing that we want to buy this stuff, and there's a market, there's a demand, and so I think brands are listening finally, and I would like to. That's kind of a personal thing. I'd really love to, like, one day maybe shirts with like bigger latex brands, because I think it's really underrepresented.
Sure.
The latex, I love them all, and I actually got to build like a kind of nice relationship with some of them. But basically they are all petite models, and why is that?
Right.
Of course they look amazing,
Sure.
but I think even guys, you can't believe the amount of guys that ask me, do you think would I look good in latex? Of course, yes. Yes, you would.
Right. It's like,
No,
do you
but
have a
I think
body? You could probably put latex.
yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Yes. So why not? But I just see like super ripped, buffed guys on the website. Okay, fuck them. Fuck them. If you like it, if you find your size, you just style it a bit, and you're gonna look great. I mean, it's really. I think there's so much work to be done, and some people that I know actually say, "Oh, I envy your confidence. You're so like this, like that."
I mean,
Okay,
I
look.
envy your confidence. Like, I'll go ahead. Like,
No.
I run a fucking podcast, and I interview, like, kind of famous musicians and shit, and I envy your confidence.
No, honestly, believe me, to get to this point, I had to wait like 28 years, and I'm not joking. And I've been struggling with body dysmorphia, and I still sometimes have like very bad days, because some things just stick to you, and unfortunately, it seems to be hard to just let them go. But I really had like a few relationships. I've been very much rejected. I felt really bad for so long. I hated myself and my body for so long. At one point, and this is where acting, I think, was really therapeutic for me. And I don't know, it just made me bloom, I'd say. I just overcame those. I just shut the noise out, and I said, okay, this is what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Life is one. Just get your shit together and just do it. Because in 20, 30 years, you will look back and you will regret not wearing latex or lingerie or this or that, just because you thought you'd look bad. And you will regret it, and you won't have any time left. Or anyway, it's going to be more difficult to actually do it. So basically, I just said fuck all. Let's go with it. I mean, and I think that's possibly the healthiest I've ever been. And yeah, even though I've been struggling, and sometimes I still do. I tend to show that as well. I think it's important. There's this sort of like to shorten the distance, or like to make Instagram live and real life
Right.
more genuine. I mean, not that separated. I always try to be very spontaneous and genuine. I show myself with no makeup, not filters. I mean, and I think that's really important, especially in a society that historically usually praise the strong and the fit and well proportioned and the genetically blessed, if you wish,
Right.
above anyone else. And yeah, this is kind of my mission. I want people to just, I just want people to be good in their skin and try to make the most out of their life. it's really, yeah. Well, we've got just the one. We've got just the one.
We have. I mean, like it really is. And I agree with you, and I admire you for that. It's not so dissimilar from my own sort of a mission. I mean, like I want to talk to interesting people, and when you do that, interesting people will tell you and teach you all kinds of cool things, and all kinds of neat tricks about how to live a better life and have more fun and worry less. And those are all things that we all need, especially now. So I appreciate your mission very much, and I think that you are successful at it from the sound of it and from the look of it from out here. Joy is a very good look on you. You seem very happy and in a lot of what you do, and I appreciate how transparent you are about just what you do and the inner workings of how you go about doing it and making it happen. I think there's at least, I don't know, there might be, at least it's true for the space in which I usually occupy. There can be sort of a sense of like, well, don't give away your secrets or your tricks or your tips or whatever, because you're training up your competition, sort of a thing. Is that something that you've encountered at all, and just in sort of like the modeling? I don't even know what kind of a space you occupy, because it's because it's such a diverse kind of a thing. It's like, I mean, you know, the list on your Instagram of like, oh, it's like Gorelesque and which is a wonderful term. I absolutely adore it.
Yes. Yes.
But I mean,
me too.
it's a lot of like things. So it's like, I don't even know how to describe your space, but is that a thing that you've run into at all?
Actually, I've been accused of gatekeeping.
Oh, okay.
And I actually have no idea why someone would say something like that, because I don't. I just don't. But yeah. So I've been accused of gatekeeping. And no, I've never met anyone that wouldn't tell me like their secrets or give me tips or anything like that. To be honest, so far, Yeah, no.
I'd
I
prefer
think
that to be the case most of the time, rather than like, you know, somebody's like, oh, I can't be bothered, I can't tell you, like, oh, trade secret or whatever. Like, that shit's stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I think in any endeavor, artistic or not, or business, marketing, personal life, there's always space for improvement. And if someone is willing to step out of their comfort zone, because sometimes you're just afraid, or for your own reasons, you just you just feel weird, maybe asking for advice or anything. But so I don't know. I can't possibly know whatever my interlocutor is going through. So sometimes it's just them wanting to know what to do. Or getting advice on how to do better, on how to improve a certain aspect of their lives, career, or whatever. And there's literally no reason to gatekeep. It's really stupid. And I think it's really stupid. I don't mean to call it.
And we're the only...
Okay, I don't want to be...
We're the only...
I don't want to sound bitchy.
No.
But...
with you. And we're the only voices on the podcast, so I think it's pretty unanimous. Like, it's so it's shitty. I agree. What's your favorite like food that you're just like, you've had a long day and like maybe?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Just no, actually,
Sure.
There was a thing. I don't reveal a tip or trick only if I've been asked not to.
Gotcha.
For example, one of my I think it was the first. Yes, I think it was the first one. Vampire shooting I've done with Horrify Me. There was this very close up, and it's a very it's like a trademark, and Rick, which is the photographer, asked me not to reveal his technique.
Sure.
And since I've posted that picture, you can't imagine the amount of models, photographers that have been asking me, "Oh, that picture is so cool. How did you do it? How did you shot that? How did you achieve that?" And that's the only time where I said clearly, like I would say just, "No, look, Rick asked me not to reveal anything." But it's because it's really like, and I understand that it really it's got to like his own eureka moment where he by accident, I actually don't remember, but he found out what would work and make the shot really powerful and really savage, and it was kind of his own discovery and what made that shooting his and unique. So it's like copyright. I in my head, I wouldn't reveal that, especially if I've been asked not to.
No.
And yeah, that was the only time I did that.
Yeah, no.
Sorry.
No worries. That makes perfect sense. I mean, I wouldn't want to, if somebody trusted me to be like, "Hey, don't tell people how I make this particular sound in a song." Like, I'm not gonna just go run my fucking mouth about it. But as far as like, there have been moments where you run into people, at least in the sort of music or audio sort of a space of like, "Oh, I don't want to tell people what I'm using because then they can go, I don't know, I guess they think they can go do the same thing." And it's like, but if you're afraid of that, then your shit's not that good. And anyway, maybe that's a little scary. But no, that makes perfect sense. I would understand your reasoning for keeping a trade secret like that. I think I've found the one you're talking about. Because I'm not like creeping on your Instagram while we talk or something, but I mean, it's nice to have like a visual reference for like, "Oh yeah, she's talking about this thing." But yeah, the bloody vampire close up kind of a photo, I think.
Yeah. If the sorry, sometimes I make myself laugh. I know it's really lame, but it happens. I was reading.
Charming. It's awesome. I make myself laugh all the time, and I feel like such a goof about it. But
yes. If it's the picture, which caption says, "This is what happens when they play Christmas songs in November." Okay, that's the one. That's the one. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's pretty powerful. It's pretty incredible.
And you know that I've just found out that like 6 or 7 people actually got this picture as a tattoo on them.
No way! Wow.
Someone is going to wear my face on the skin forever, and I'm freaking out. I am freaking out. Yes. I mean, of course I'm flattered, but I'm mostly freaked out. I mean, why?
Yeah, I mean, that's dedication. That's serious dedication. Plus, I mean, at that point, it's like, I mean, like, it's deeply flattering. But if somebody were all like, "Hey, Brian, I got a tattoo of your face," I'd be like, I don't want to hang out. Like, that's cool. And you can send me like maybe a picture of it, but
yeah, that's cool from a distance.
But
Thank
yeah,
you.
it's am I gonna be in your town this weekend? No, nope, not gonna be around. Because that's a level of dedication that it goes a little beyond. Maybe.
Yes.
It would make me uncomfortable, yes. But I mean, I'm not crazy about my face. I don't know how you feel about your face.
When as a vampire, I love my face. That's the only way I can actually really like myself, to be completely honest.
Oh, okay. All right. Now that I'm a vampire,
but,
I feel better.
Yeah. No, honestly, yes. I have to say it. Oh, by the way, actually, last year I went to Transylvania.
Wow.
Yes, it was amazing. And I spent Halloween in Dracula's castle.
That's awesome. You were like
Yes.
for fun or for doing work?
No, just for fun. Actually, it was my birthday present to my boyfriend, which also was a present for myself.
Yeah, no, that's the best kind. That's the best kind.
And I usually, not always, because I don't always have that kind of money, but it happens already that I would actually gift a trip. So we could go together. It's like we have an experience together, we build memories together, we see a new place, we do new things, etc., etc. I'm not really big on physical presents, like objects and stuff, unless I see something that really, really reminds me of someone. I prefer usually to give like to make them live an experience or do something together with me, myself, or someone else, if I can.
I try to do the same thing. Like, it's more fun because then it's like, that's a thing you can't put a price on, and it can be humble. It can be just something simple of like, we went to the park and we sat and, we made a memory together. I think that's sweet. I agree.
Thank you.
I mean, sometimes I do feel the compulsion to like, here's a physical manifestation of my love or appreciation or whatever. And in those kinds of cases, I do tend to favor like giving art, of some kind, maybe a painting or a woodcut or, something, just because then I give it to you, but then you get to interpret it however you want. And I don't know, I think that's like a cool sort of bonding of mental things. I'm very articulate. I don't know if you've noticed.
No, it's right. No. I got it. No problem. Yeah.
Okay.
I agree. By the way, but yeah.
I dreamt you were a siren. You sang your strange song to me. I felt a strange kind of magic, and I dived into your deep black sea. She said, come to me. I dreamt you were a vampire. You sank your sharp teeth into me. You wanted to be my one true love, forever and all of eternity. She said, come to me, come to me. Dreamt you were my lover, and I lay between your silky legs. I prayed that this moment would never end. She said, come to me. She said, come to me, come to me. She said, come to me.
All right, cool.
It's fine. Actually, I'm afraid I've been like almost screaming, but I can't hear myself really well because I'm wearing massive headphones. So if I scream or talk too loud,
No, you're.
let me know
No, you're like.
because I have no clue whatsoever.
No, you're.
Okay,
fine.
okay.
You're totally fine. Okay, so I don't want to keep you too long, but what's something you're enjoying right now? Just like it can be anything. Just like what are you waking up super stoked about?
I've got this new act I'm going to bring in September.
Is that the one you're
Gorelesque
listening today?
act. Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. And it's a new one, and it's a bit weird and gory, and I'm very excited. I actually can't wait. Yes. And that's really hyping me. I'm really hyped about it. And to be honest, like I actually am enjoying cooking. I really loved like cooking meals for myself and my partner. I usually enjoy cooking a lot, baking as well. But for some reason, like this year, I've been so lazy. Like I don't know, I couldn't just be bothered. And as I could just buy like ready meals at the supermarket most of the times, like straight in the microwave. That's it, sorted. But I actually kind of rediscovering my love for cooking like fresh food that
Right.
doesn't taste like goo and plastic.
I mean, I have to
Like
ask,
what the hell am I eating? I don't even know what I was eating before. But yeah.
Do you watch the Great British Baking Show?
I used to. Now I don't really own a TV.
Sure. I mean, I would love to see like I think it would be awesome if you like got into an elaborate costume, like a witch costume, right? And then it was like Great British Baking Show, but it's like, oh, it's Elena Black Witch, and she's baking.
Make it goth.
Yeah, make it goth. Like, make it fucking like, oh, we're baking like, I don't know, something crazy.
You know that actually, I was thinking of making like, a reel, because Instagram and TikTok and whatever, they just, do this kind of stuff right now. So, to make a reel, I could actually, bake some weird, horrific kind of thing. Not sure about what yet. I've got I'm really terrible at remembering Instagram accounts, but there's a girl I follow and she gave me the inspiration because she's been doing like these very spooky and goth and quirky recipes, and I was thinking of kind of do it myself.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
That would be awesome. I'd tune in for that. I think that would be sweet. You'd be like a gothy fetish Martha Stewart, sort of.
Oh God, yes, living the dream.
I mean, without the going to prison and tax evasion part.
Yes, no, of course. Yes.
But
I'm not a Tory after all. so no. But yeah.
Okay. I like cooking as well. I just don't do it as much as I used to. I just don't have the time. And yeah, I don't know. I feel you there. But do you have a favorite thing to cook or bake? Like that you're just like, or maybe not your favorite, because the things I'm best at making are 100% not my favorite to make, because they're usually a shit ton of work. But so
precisely, yes.
but is there like what's your best dish? Like if I was, if you were gonna have like a big fancy to do, like what would be like, oh, I'm busting out my best meal?
I think I've been quite proud of a sort of Halloweeny banquet I had a couple of years ago. It's also like, I think it's my first reel on my account on Instagram, because I did like this kind of spooky tapas and the piece of resistance, which was a red velvet cake.
Oh, I do love red.
Which is if you ask anyone that actually got to have a taste of that, they would look at you with dreamy eyes. Oh my god, that was so amazing. And it was freaking amazing, to be honest. I think I really love baking. I find it extremely relaxing, and I think that was the best cake I've ever done. It was just perfect, when it's just perfect. The icing was perfect, the sponge was perfect, the filling was perfect, and the decoration was perfect. It was like piling up tiles made with white chocolate. So come on, with it kept getting better and better. Come on.
I mean, red velvet cake is my fucking jam, so I'm pretty jealous. Like for my birthday, almost every single year, it's like, what kind of cake do you want? And it's like red velvet, motherfucker. Like it's I can get down on it. I think the best thing I make is probably I make a pretty good jambalaya, but it's a lot of work to put it together. It's like, have you ever had jambalaya at all?
No,
It's
unfortunately not. I know what it is, but
Oh,
I never actually got to
Gotcha.
have it.
Yeah, that's probably like the best thing I can make, but it takes me like all day, and by the time it's done, I'm starving and I'm cranky, and it's when I eat it, I'm like, this is so good, this is bomb, but then I'm like, I'm not doing this again for at least 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that.
Yeah, but I mean, well, well, that's awesome. Red velvet cake is it's like the best cake.
Yes, it is.
I don't even know what it's
yeah.
supposed to taste like. I don't even know what red velvet is supposed to be, but fuck, I love it. It's wonderful.
I think it's supposed to be. I think it's just like normal chocolate cake with food coloring. Really, I think I've seen a video actually a couple of weeks ago, and it works. This lady was explaining that red velvet is just like chocolate cake, sponge cake, but you add food coloring and and that what actually makes it a bit bitter. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't really care.
I mean, it's fine. I don't really
to be completely honest.
I mean, I don't really care either. It could be made of fucking, I don't even know what, something terrible, but I love it. So it's that's all that matters. Well, I don't want to keep you too much longer, so I will go ahead and let you go. But thank you so much for your time and for
No, thank you.
coming on the podcast. It was wonderful to talk to you. And like I said, I've followed you on Instagram for a while, but just because I do appreciate what you're doing, and I think it's different. And it's been wonderful to see like some of the risks you've taken. There's some pretty brave things on there, especially given your sort of, now after having spoken to you and sort of gained a little bit more insight into your personality. It's maybe a little bit more impressive to me, I guess, in some respects. But
Oh, thank you.
well, thank you so
Ah.
much. I appreciate your time, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you so much.
And
you too? Is it what time is it there?
it's almost 1 p.m. But I'm going to have some lunch, and I think my wife and I are going to go see Nope. When you get a chance,